Hello and welcome to a little crazy boat renovations. I need to lift up all the gear that I've got out here in the deck, take the back end off and all that to clear the engine bay. I'll tell you why in a second. So I'm back in the engine bay now. Taking a break from what I'm doing in the cabin because my son tells me that the engine is nearly ready to run, and once it's run, tested, it won't be long before we put it in here. So what I'm going to do at the moment is put some soundproof covering on the sides. Unfortunately, because the engine bay is quite small with the engine in it, so I don't have the room for the thicker lead lined soundproofing, so I'm going to use this smaller stuff. This is 10mm stuff, just to line round it. The doghouse, when it's made, can have a thicker amount of soundproofing on it. But what I'll possibly have to do is put more on the other side so that it's sandwiched. But it's the engine's a Perkins 4108, so I'm not sure how noisy that's going to be. It used to have a similar engine, a smaller one. It's a Perkins 4199 or 4099, I can't remember which way round it goes. And it was an old engine. This one has been completely revamped, new block and head and everything, which will be shown later on. So hopefully it's whisper quiet, but we won't know that until we run it up, see how noisy it is outside, and then see how it's going to be in here. There's various other things that we can do to soundproof it once it's in here, but you've got to be aware of the heat inside here, because it's a small area where the engine is, and you don't want it to overheat in here. So there's various ways of testing it. A good way is to run the engine up with everything covered, run it high, and then leave it running, and then once it's used up all the air that's in here, if it then starts to drop in idle, and then you know it's getting hot. So I might have to put a fan in here somewhere, because the vent would be up here and over that side. There's two vents either side, so this is where the hot air would go out, and basically that's where the cold air comes back in. So the hot air is probably going to fight the cold and push that out. So a fan on a pipe down here would probably be a good idea, sucking cold air in, putting it inside the engine room, and then the hot air, because it rises obviously, will go out that side. But won't be able to see any of that, how I can do that, until we've got the engine actually sitting in here. So we've got a lot of work to do around here with the exhaust pipe and everything, the electrics. In the meantime, as I say, I'll get on with this. I've put this stuff on before, although a different brand and a lot bigger than this, a lot wider. This is only small stuff, and if it don't work out, I'll just get some other stuff. So we shall see. Certainly tall enough. Have you ever used this stuff before? It's not that clever when you're taking the backing off. I mean, the last stuff I had, we started taking it off and it just ripped in pieces. It took forever to get it off. So it can be a bit fiddly. I'm not sure how this is going to be. joints can all be trimmed down afterwards. There you go then. So you don't have to be super accurate. Just take that. So that's covering the area. There is a tape to go around the joins, which I forgot to bring up. When it tidies it all up, I've just got to cut around that steering piece there as well. But yeah, that's sufficient to cover it from inside. Once it's all taped up, it'll look very nice. So this is how we end up after all the soundproofing's been done in the engine bay, after it's all been taped round. Hopefully that's enough soundproofing. But as I said before, if not, I'll put it on the other side of the ply as well, just to give it a bit extra. We won't know how well it is until we've got the engine in there and running, so that will tell us how noisy or not it is. Now this steering piece over here, I've left the original bracket there, look, coming through there, but we may change that and put one that's fixed, a new one that's fixed onto there with a new arm that comes across. I think that's the way to go. But yeah, it's all ready, so you can do the running up the engine now. If all's well, we can put that in, and then we can start doing a lot more work out here to put everything in place where it should be. So I've put everything back in place now, temporarily. Don't want to leave all this open while we're waiting for the engine move, especially that. Fell down there twice already, don't want to fall down a third time, might not be so lucky. But I'll get this all covered up again with the sheets so that it protects the floor and the surrounding area while I'm working on the other bits in the meantime. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.